Welcome to Celebrating Act Two, where today John and I are going to be speaking to Dr. Liz Lister about things that affect our health and our well-being.
Hey, Dr. Liz, great to see you again. I
Well,
uh, I love junk food. I make no bones about it. They say you are what you eat. I've either turned into a hamburger, that'd be a double hamburger with cheese, or maybe a big sausage, a big hot dog, something like. But
mm,
here's my question. It it really is. I believe it's kind of addictive. I now it's just
yeah.
taste, right? I like the taste. I want to go back for more. But is it? Am I correct that junk food can be addictive?
You are more than correct about that, John. Not only can junk food be addictive, but it is often intended to be addictive. It
Wow.
is tested and altered. It is created in a factory with scientists who are testing different flavors, different molecules for the purpose of getting you and many other people hooked
Well,
on these types
Dr.
of
Liz,
foods.
that makes a lot of sense. They want to sell a product and they want to sell it over and over again. Why not test it to find out what people are going to
Oh,
be
wait,
addicted to?
I want to take
Yeah,
exception with you, Dr. Liz. I don't think they often, okay? It is part of the process. Okay, remember there were,
pro-
in fact, I think there was an ad once about 20 years ago on potato chips. I bet you can't eat just one.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay, wasn't there an ad?
I remember
And
that. I remember that
right.
ad.
So,
yeah.
MSG, sodium, all these things that are totally unnecessary for most products for preservation and cans and things like that, they're in
Yeah.
there to hook you. In fact, I remember, and then I'll turn it back over to you because I know you know more about it. But I remember, uh, as you both know, and some of the audience may know that I'm I'm pretty close to being a vegan. I'm a plant vegetarian kind of guy,
Right.
and I read the China study, and all these things are talked about in there. And it doesn't really matter whether it's M and M's or anything else. But I remember there was a study done on rats with M and M's, and they were as addicted to them as they were to cocaine.
Wow.
Okay, there was
Right,
no
right.
difference, and they then started measuring in the brain. So I don't think this is
Yeah.
a sometime thing. I think that this is part of the plan, and I won't moralize on good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just saying that that's why we're addicted. So if you feel you're addicted, you are addicted, and whether or not you do something about, maybe you can help us figure out how can
Yeah.
we control ourselves, or should we?
Yes, and if you feel addicted, you're not alone. The report that I read recently is that 1 out of 8 adults in the United States over age 50 reports feeling addicted to junk food. All right. And in addition to that, even worse, there's something that we call the SAD diet, the standard American diet. And the standard American diet has 60% of its calories coming from these types of addictive, what we call ultra processed foods.
Hmm.
Ah,
All right, that's really where they get you is in the processing. So to your point, Art, if you're eating whole foods, if you're eating fruits and vegetables, you're eating whole grains, you're eating things that are not, preferably they're not processed at all. But this is what we call ultra processing. That's where the badness comes into it, the purposeful working on getting people addicted. Because here's what we know, if you have X amount of calories coming from junk food, it affects the body differently than the same amount of calories from fruits and vegetables.
of course.
We know this, right? This is
Yeah.
like you said, of course, we know this, but it's really important because that's why we've got pretty much the world's highest obesity rate at this point. We've overtaken any other country that was competing for the highest obesity rate. We're really right there up at the top. And it is largely to do with the impact and the difficulty our body has processing and not getting the nutrients it needs from this type of ultra processed food.
Yeah,
Now, it isn't just junk food, though, is it? Because I've had doctors tell me to stay away from the processed foods. I think in this case, he was talking about bologna.
Yes,
There
processed
are
meat.
processed
That's right.
meats and things.
That's
Yeah.
correct. And they do everything you said, add those yummy flavors. They do all of that. And that keeps people, it keeps people going back to those not good for us foods. And
Yeah.
it also alters our taste. So, for example, one time I tried to give my granddaughter a brownie that was sort of a low sugar. It had protein in it. It was a not a normal brownie, and it wasn't one of those not normal brownies either. It was a brownie that had protein in it.
Hmm.
Okay. And she was like, "Ugh." She could tell right away that it did not have the normal amount of sugar.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All right. And same with fruit. People, a lot of patients I've taken care of, they lose their sense of taste of what a strawberry normally tastes like.
Interesting.
It's kind of interesting. I wish I had known that we were doing this today because I would have brought along something from the closet that had the chart on the back that says what things are made of. And the further down the real product that it was based on is, and there are like 32 other things that are probably all derived sugars, okay, that
Right.
and
That's right.
sodiums that you can't, if you
That's the
can't pronounce it,
processing.
and if there are a lot of words you can't pronounce, it's processed.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
I've even heard if it has a label, if it needs a label,
right.
then it has some degree of processing to
Yeah,
it. So that's sort of an interesting way, right? Like an apple, you
yeah.
can pick it up, it's an apple. Although they do things to those too. Have you ever heard of the grapples? They put grape flavor into
Oh,
apples.
sure.
No.
Blah, awful, really bad, really bad. So that's exactly right. That's what we want to avoid so that our brains don't get hooked, right? Because the sense of taste and smell is from the brain. That's a give and take with the brain.
All right. Well, my double Big Mac for lunch is, I guess, is out of the question.
You know what,
Well,
but John, you know what? A potato is a potato, so maybe get a double order of fries.
I don't know about the fries
oh,
part.
no, don't do that. We want you around a long time.
Yeah. Raw
Yeah.
Don't do
potato,
that.
maybe, but not fries.
Well, there's 4 tips for people who feel that they may be addicted to junk food. So let me run these by you and you can both respond, but John, let's see how this grabs you. So the first tip of the 4 is avoiding the triggers whenever you can.
Okay.
Okay. Another one is not going out hungry. So don't skip meals. So if you're out and about and you're hungry, is it easier to go through the drive-through at McDonald's or is it easier to wait till you get home and then make yourself
Right.
something? No, it's easier to go to that's why they call it convenience stores.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you want to not skip meals and not go out hungry. You want to also, you can wait. So this is very interesting. And for me, I combine the waiting with drinking water. So if it's a matter of reaching for something sweet and sugary versus having a glass of water and just waiting for a little bit, very, very helpful. And
Yes.
last but not least is to do what you can to make healthy choices the convenient choice.
Yeah.
Have things handy, have things ready to eat versus where if it's a candy bar, that's very easy, or something healthy, you have to sit and prepare it.
Right. Right. Well,
Right.
it's a
One of
good.
the things, one thing I like to do is that's very helpful actually. When I serve our salads at dinner, I make an extra one, and that's my lunch the next day.
Mm.
And then it's
Good idea.
ready, and I have a salad ready. I don't even have to go and assemble it. It's just ready to pull out and put the dressing and have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good idea. We've replaced a couple of meals a week with salads.
Mm.
That's our
Good.
dinner.
Beautiful.
And you're right about the water. Over the years, I've increased I don't know when, but many, many years, increased the amount of water that I drank. And less Pepsis, Cokes, and carbonated drinks,
Good.
But I don't know
That's
about
good.
that temptation. I don't know. It's always there.
Well,
Well, if you choose it, then enjoy it. I
Oh,
think
I
a
do.
lot of people in our country at this point, they know that it's not good for them, and so they kind of eat it fast, and before they know it, the burger's gone. So I definitely recommend occasional treats, slowing down, making sure you chew slowly and really, really get the full mileage out of the treat.
Good advice.
yeah. By the way, I think the thing that when I'm paying enough attention to it, the thing that is most helpful to kill the cravings is have a lot of water before you even go out of the house, or keep a container of water in the car. Some people walk around with the carafes of them and so on and so forth. And if you can do it, but again, a craving is a craving, and even on salads, I don't do it anymore, but I would always be looking for the bacon bits and all the other stuff that just, even the meats at the McDonald's and everything.
Well,
It's not to rap on them because they all do it. They put stuff in the meat that causes you to want to have a second one, or they give you a double, triple
that's
Big
right.
Mac. And
That's right.
anyway,
You just made me also think of the cost differential between cheap junk food
mhm.
compared to good, healthy food choices.
Good point.
It's often considerably less expensive to make the unhealthy choice. And this is something that I think is going to have to be addressed at a public health level eventually in our country. Once we start really, I mean, we're already paying the price. We have this high rate of obesity with obesity related illnesses. And the key, by the way, isn't specifically the obesity or the weight itself, it's inflammation.
Ah,
People can look like they're at a healthy weight and still have inflammation from not making healthy food choices. So and then that's where the illnesses come from.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
more, as always, more good information. And if it triggers you to live a healthier lifestyle, that's great. And at least if it doesn't, then enjoy it and understand that, you're doing bad stuff to yourself. And maybe someday, because one good thing is that if you switch to a healthier diet, a lot of these things get alleviated dramatically, joint issues and so on and so forth.
That's right.
Mm.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Liz.
You're so welcome.
For more on Celebrating Act Two, visit our webpage, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and tell your friends. Celebrating Act Two is the user manual for the second half of your life.